This is Robert Kraft, and I'm your host on SNN.Network. And joining me today is Ezra Beyman. He is the CEO of Reliance Global Group. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is RELI on the OTCQB. Ezra, it's good to see you. How are you doing today?
Okay. How are you?
Doing well myself. Thank you. So it's been a while since we actually had you on here. I've been joking nonstop that even a day seems like a decade ago. But, last time we did an interview with you was a little over a year ago. So for our audience, do you think you could provide us a bit of an update as to what's been going on at Reliance Global, let's say in the last 12 months?
So we did, as we announced, that we'd be buying, I think, 6 insurance agencies, which we did. And we closed on them. They're all, thank God, they're performing well, and they're actually on their own, they're cash positive. We also made an investment, a very strategic investment in a company called Ensure, which is the first fully digital insurance agency in the US, perhaps the world, but at least the US, which means you can go on and get quotes from 40 different carriers and actually bind your insurance all inside of 5 minutes. It's unheard of in the industry. Technology is far surpasses anything else. We also, of course, real estate is a big focus in our company. The last year or so, combination of deals being crazily priced, I'm not sure how else to put that, pre-corona, but post-corona, actually, now transactions are starting to see more realistic. We're involved. Also, actually, our 19 of our properties from our private company, we have announced it recently on our conference call that's in the works as soon as we uplist, which we've also announced about. That makes it much easier. The banks should give us approval to transfer them in. That process is already beginning as far as as we start talking about uplisting. And actually, but not only those properties, but there are some serious transactions, serious acquisitions that are, we've been involved in for now a while, especially post-corona. And actually, our men are in the field. They're now beginning to fly again, and we're gearing up for some nice transactions.
So Ezra, I want to follow up with you real quick. So let's take a step back. What would you say is Reliance's core value proposition that you think our audience should know?
I think the common denominator between real estate and the type of real estate we do, actually multifamily, and insurance, the type of insurance we do, is, and again, we're not the carrier, so we don't carry the risk. The common denominator is the steady, recurring income stream. We also know those businesses from our private world, private to becoming public, having accumulated tens of thousands of units over the years, billions of dollars in transactions, and we know the market very well. We also, in the real estate sector, have something that over many other public real estate companies, we do our own management. In fact, I think it's worthwhile mentioning, even during COVID-19, our collections were really not more than 2% off our typical collection ratio. So, the management team is very good, very seasoned. They live and breathe and sleep. When I let them sleep, multifamily real estate.
That was going to be my next. That was going to be my next question: is whether you guys focus specifically on multifamily or commercial, and
right.
I mean, you guys run a real estate company. I was going to also. I'm curious to know how COVID-19. I mean, you've already mentioned it a little bit, but how it's really impacted real estate prices, and really your business. Moving.
Right. So as we all know, other sectors of real estate, especially retail, you know, with actually Amazon pre-corona, and it certainly didn't get better post-corona or during corona. Amazon is booming, and many real estate, long real estate or real retail establishments are hurting. But so that's not a good sector. Office space is also a tough sector. Many businesses have learned over the last several months they can manage without paying $100 a foot or plus in New York City. But multifamily, people still need a place to sleep, put their head down every night. We're running over 95% occupancy. We mentioned before the collections are really no complaints at all. And that's something that people need. And the truth is another aspect of multifamily is actually since the last recession, 10 years ago, is that the concept of the American dream, buying your own home, is not as prevalent or as strong as it used to be. People are content in getting into an apartment as long as it's comfortable and it's reasonable and, you know, somewhat headache-free. So we see multifamily they can't build them fast enough in many areas, and we're trying to take advantage of that. And what happened is during Corona, though, it did adjust. It was somewhat of correction in a good way for people buying real estate. No one asked for Corona, that's for sure. But the net result was it actually was a certain correction that the market needed. And we're now actually we're just beginning to see the normalization somewhat of pricing. And now as my teams are able to go out and travel and see things are really beginning to cook now. And we're happy about that.
Got it. So, I mean, you would say you guys have been more or less in a wait and see period because you saw, it sounds like you thought real estate prices were already kind of just skyrocketing to a point where how can you make money on these things? It sounds like you were more or less waiting for, not, obviously none of us wanted COVID-19. None of us want what we're going through right now, but it seemed like it kind of took a black swan event to get you to where it's making some of these prices more reasonable.
Exactly. It's very true. At reality, survey in the real estate, especially multifamily, it was a healthy correction that was needed. And now it's starting to make sense. But people still need a place to live.
Right.
Actually, they've been living there much more during Corona, not going out of their homes.
So Ezra, what would you say are the 1 to 2 things that investors should look for from the company moving forward now?
I think they should look to see real estate transactions that we've been working on. As those come to fruition, we'll be announcing them. They could look forward to that. And we're very entrenched in that now. And of course, we're actually in the insurance world, we're talking about some very serious transactions as well. But right now, this moment was on the table most, what we're very focused on is real estate, multifamily real estate.
All right. Well, with that, Ezra, where can my audience go and find everything they need to know about Reliance Global?
Well, they can go to our website, RelianceGlobalGroup.com. And of course, they can see the public announcements that we do periodically.
Sounds good. Well, with that, Ezra, thank you so much for joining me today. I do really appreciate it. I wish you good luck, stay safe, and I look forward to our next update.
Thank you, Robert, very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.